Boom. All right, we're live. Woo!
Yeah, no one's here.
Yeah. Not yet, at least.
Okay, I'm recording.
All right, and I am recording also. Okay. All right. Let me just resize the Hangout here, and then I think we'll be good to go. Move that over. Beautiful. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, here we go. In 3, 2. Hello to everybody out there in the podcast nation. Welcome to the Geekcast. I'm Aaron Crocco.
I'm Gozer.
This is the Geekcast, episode 344, recorded on Tuesday, March 20th, 2013. I'd like to welcome everybody listening in all across the world. Thank you so much for joining us today on another edition of the Geekcast. How's it going, Mr. Gozer?
A super speedy edition of the Geekcast. Yay, Comcast finally pulled through. I have 53 megabits down.
53.
53. I'm only paying for 30.
Wow.
I should call and complain that I'm getting too much. I think.
You should just be like, you know what? I'm getting too much, and I want to pay you more.
Yeah. Do you realize I'm not paying you as much?
Yeah.
God, Comcast, get it right. Yeah, so I came home and just tested it out. I usually test it out every day because the Comcast guy over a week ago told me that they were going to send someone out, not to my house, but to the general area of where I live,
Right.
to just check on the status of everything because the guy I talked to said it's very, very slow. So they must have come and fixed something because it's wicked fast.
Wicked fast.
And that's awesome. So, yeah, a wicked speedy edition of the Geekcast this week.
Wicked speedy edition of the Geekcast. That's right. Well, we're going to wicked speedy a great show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about Gears of War Judgment. We have some awesome feedback from you listeners. It's going to be very, very cool. And I have a very cool geek this week. You know, just some subservient tech. That's what we're going to call it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a bit. But first,
Slave tech.
Slave tech. So let's get right into it here with the tech and gaming news. The first awesome news article that we came across today is that Amazon is planning to launch a $99 Kindle Fire HD, according to a report from TechCrunch. This is not official, but this is according to a report.
Oh, that's really... Oh, wow. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's looking pretty cool here. So this article comes courtesy of The Verge, and they're saying that Amazon may be expanding its Kindle Fire line of tablets with a new low-cost version of the 7-inch Fire HD.
Ads every 10 seconds.
Exactly. Allegedly, the new Kindle Fire HD will have a TI processor just like its more expensive stablemates, and it will have a 1280 by 800 pixel display, just like the 7-inch model.
Which is fine for a 7-inch. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that works pretty good. That version sells for $199. Yep. Amazon, of course, still offers the older version of the Kindle Fire with lower resolution for $159, which I'm just like, for the $60, why $40? Why aren't you just getting the HD? I mean,
yeah, and that's a big jump from the Kindle Fire, which I actually owned for about a month until the Nexus came out, and then I actually played around with the Kindle Fire HD at where was I? Best Buy. I'm always at Best Buy.
Yeah, you are.
and or Target and or wherever. But yeah, it's a total difference. The Kindle Fire HD is really nice, as you know too, because you said your sister-in-law has one, right?
Yeah, we got her one for Christmas, and she loves it, especially because, and just like with everything Amazon, you just punch in your Amazon info, and boom, everything is there. Like you
the 7-inch or the 8.9-inch?
We got her the 7-inch, I think.
$200 or $300?
It was $200. You know what? So look, when you're buying things for Christmas, it's just like you don't have time to really think about it.
It's just a blur, and I don't know how much money you spend.
Exactly. So right now, it's really not clear what will be different with this newer, lower-cost model compared to Amazon's current tablets. Is it going to run a slower processor? Like, is it a TI processor but slower?
It said it's a TI processor, just like the
yeah, but it could
one.
be maybe a slower TI processor. I don't know. This is the problem with these rumor quote unquote news articles. It's just like this could be total bunk. Like,
I mean, it's half the price, so they got to cut some tech in it, I would think.
maybe they'll cut the screen.
Yeah, it's the size of a phone
with no screen. It's a tablet with no screen.
Yeah. But it's a Kindle, so read on it with no screen.
Yeah, you write on it with a pen.
God. But it also says here in this article, Amazon did recently announce a price drop on the larger Kindle Fire HD 8.9, slashing the price by up to $100. So, I mean, this would only make sense to do a price drop with the 7-inch model, too.
Yeah, well, what I'm thinking is that this is going to be a price drop more across the board, where the Kindle is not going to cost as much. You know, parts and components and all of that, manufacturing costs, they go down. So it might be one of those things where it's like, well, we could still make a profit on this.
We want to sell more, so...
Yeah, although they've been the rumors that Amazon really makes no money on the Kindle Fire, because they just wanted to get you into their services. It's all about the services.
They didn't want to get you into their ecosystem, which is, if I were to get my wife this for Mother's Day, which I'm really leaning towards even more than a Nexus 7 or an iPad, she's already in the Amazon ecosystem, and I think that's really what it's like. Okay, let's just sell it cheap, and then people are going to buy books, they're going to rent movies, they're going to buy all kinds of stuff. They're going to buy magazine subscriptions, and one click, oh, there you go, got your money.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
it's just a means to more money for them.
Exactly. Well, and this is the big price difference between Amazon and Google compared to Apple, which is Google and Amazon are trying to get you into their ecosystems. Like we said, they want to make money selling you content, whereas Apple, yes, they'll gladly sell you the content, but they make money off the iPad. They make money off their hardware.
Well, that's the thing. And Apple can do that now because no one, I think people are slowly learning about these other competitor tablets. Sure, there's a million tablets out there, but they're crap. But these are the competitor ones that are in this news article. They even talked about an HP new tablet. I haven't even heard of that. Yeah,
HP has said they are going to have a new tablet, which is funny because they had the HP touchpad. Didn't really go anywhere, unfortunately, and we all know what happened with that.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, I think this is definitely... Whoa, hey, hold your breath. This is definitely the way to go because this is the only way they're going to compete with the iPad. And, when you think tablet, you think iPad. And anyone who is not into technology, they're going to go, oh, well, I'll just get an iPad because I don't want a laptop. I don't want a desktop. Let me just get an iPad. You mean tablet? No, iPad. No.
Exactly.
It's a tablet. Yeah.
No,
that's really
it's an iPad. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's actually funny. Someone who I talked to on Google Plus was like, "I'm thinking of getting a tablet. What do you guys think? And please don't be all fanboyish." And I just wrote, I'm like, "Look, if you want a tablet, get either the Nexus 7/10, the Kindle Fire HD, or the iPad." I'm like, I'm an Apple fanboy, but at the same time, those are the 3 tablets you want to choose from. I'm just like, there are too many bottom-of-the-barrel garbage tablets that, you'll pay $49 for it, but they're awful.
Next time you go to CVS, see what type of tablets they sell. It's terrible. Kobe, whatever crap. Yeah. It's like, it runs Android. Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah, it's just absolute
it's fantastic.
Garbage. Total garbage.
I would like to, out of curiosity, I would like to just play with one for like a couple of minutes.
No, I would not want to play with one. I would want to buy it and then just break it. Not even leave the store. Just pay for it, take it out of its box, and then slam it with a sledgehammer.
In the store.
In the store. Just be like, this is crap!
This is crap!
Exactly. Another thing that is crap is what's rumored to be coming out in the next Xbox. And this is the Durango leak, which is games must be installed to the hard disk, and that the console is always connected.
Do you hear me moaning and groaning?
Yeah, so last month we've heard rumors of anti-used game system for Microsoft's next generation Durango Xbox console, but an additional leak this week appears to reinforce those claims. VG Leaks, previously responsible for revealing accurate specifications for Durango, has provided screenshots of an Xbox development kit for Microsoft's console, and now what they're saying is that this is confirming that in the hardware overview, they're stating that every next-gen console will include a hard drive with enough capacity to hold, quote-unquote, hold a large number of games, and that, play from the optical drive will not be supported. What?
Now, I think the PS4 was actually supporting an optical drive, which, could... I don't know, I hate to say it, but could be the difference between me getting the new Xbox or the new PS4. If all this speculation is true, where it's just going to be a hard drive, and I know eventually that's what's going to happen, there's not going to be any discs, but it's kind of like, yes, the Durango is going to be anti-used games, because if you want to play a game, you just have to download it. So how are you going to buy a used download game? So I don't know what's going to happen, but it sounds like, when the PS4 came out, they announced, no, you'll be able to play used games on it. It will have an optical drive. Okay, fine. That's great for people like me who still like the discs.
It's supposed to. It's a game console.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but this is just absurd. If you're going to sell games as physical copies, not like the Ouya where it's downloadable, why would you make it so that it has to be on? Not just online, but on the hard drive. You know why? Because of stupid piracy and stupid DRM. And we see how this has been murder for Diablo 3. This has been murder for SimCity. And it's just why? Why would you do this? Because honestly, if it's a console that's like that, I don't want to buy it. Just like with SimCity. I really wanted to buy SimCity, and I know we didn't cover this in our episodes last week, but I really wanted SimCity. We talked about it, and then I'm just like...
Well, you can't get it anyway because you're on a Mac, so...
I can't get it on... Well, I could if I install Windows on Boot Camp and all that crap, but even when it comes out for the Mac, I'm not buying it because I am not going to give Electronic Arts money for software that just doesn't work, and they keep lying about why it doesn't work. The server processing for the simulations need to be done in the cloud on our servers. Well, we're going to get to the reasons why that is all crap in a couple of minutes. And I think with the Xbox, I mean, it's just why? You're putting an optical drive in it. Okay, the hard drive is great, but you have an optical drive. Why are you not going to let people play games using the optical drive?
I don't know.
Because it's stupid DRM.
I can't believe that, this could be a possibility for the Xbox, because the Xbox has been the console to have, Xbox Live and everything, and you think they would just have everything that you would want in it and not go this route of...
You would think, but at the same time, it's just well, you know what, and I don't mind the way they do it now. It's if you want to put the game on the hard drive, you can do that. Yes, you have to have the game in the
you
drive.
need the disc to access the game.
But that's okay. I'm all right with that because it's one of those things where the Xbox is so loud when it spins the disc. It's all right, if it's a game I play enough, I'll copy it over. I don't mind keeping the game in. It's okay, but now it's wait a minute. I'm going to have to copy it over, and then I'm not going to be able to use it from the optical drive? Well, what if I don't want to copy it over?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then
and that's the thing that I brought up too a couple weeks ago when we speculated about the new Xbox, which I have two Xbox consoles. I probably wouldn't get two Xbox consoles, when they first come out because it's going to be way expensive. But down the road, I think I would do that, especially if there's a price drop and stuff. So you're telling me that I can play one game in the living room, but I would have to bring the entire Xbox down. I can't, use a thumb drive or something and then transfer it to another. Well, the thumb drive is a hard drive, so I don't know. Maybe it would work like that. But something tells me that they won't allow you to do that. Maybe it's just the Xbox's hard drive that comes with the system. I don't know. I was very happy when they announced the the thumb drives to. I think you can install games on a thumb drive. I mean, why not? I mean, I do all my save games on it, so unless they do something like that where it's easily transferable to a different system, because you can run into a lot of problems if you're trying to actually pop the hard drive off of your Xbox and put it on your other Xbox if you have two, because I've had a couple problems with that. Not a red ring would come up, but something similar to that, and saying some kind of weird warning that it's not going to work or something. So I just stopped doing it because I didn't want to break my Xbox. So, you know, there's nothing set in stone. I heard April they're going to announce officially the Durango, the Xbox 720, whatever you want to call it. They're even talking about a new Kinect sensor that is going to just, I guess, come with it. I hope you can detach it, or I hope it's on a wire. I hope it's not on. Yeah, that would be a big epic fail. I really don't think they would do that. But they're going to announce it. I think they're going to announce it before E3, and then they're just going to show it off even more at E3 and even PAX East, which is PAX East is like next week.
Yeah, it's getting
Why am I not going to PAX East?
I don't know. You should be.
So this is really, I mean, if you want to go to PAX East and you want to go to E3, this is the year to do it, because you know, these two huge consoles coming out and all this stuff, and you know what's going to happen in this next generation. The next gen is not so much better graphics, better online play. It's like all these other things that almost don't even have to do with games. You know, it's like, how are you going to play the games? Like, what's the controller going to be like? What kind of, you know, movie services, and maybe watch TV through your Xbox or your PS4. So I think that's really the big focus on these new consoles, which is cool, which is exciting, because, like we said, how much better can these games look? You know?
Right. Exactly. So, there's only so much that you can really do with the console. At a certain point, it's just like, okay, enough already. Just add better services, make it easier to play, and you know, maybe make it cheaper, which is not going to happen in the beginning, but you know, could happen maybe like 2 or 3 years after. You would hope.
Here's the thing. This is what's going to get me to buy the new Xbox day one. And granted, I don't buy consoles day one. I never have. I'm not like you, Aaron, which is weird because you're not that much of a gamer, but you bought a couple consoles on day one. If they say, yes, you can play discs on it. Yes, you can play used games on it. It has a terabyte hard drive. It has a cable card input. The cable card's going to be a big one with me. And TiVo's integrated into the new Xbox. Boom. Please. I think you would buy it too if TiVo's integrated into it. I mean, that would be pretty crazy.
That would be pretty cool. And it won't cost $1,100 at that point?
Yeah. We talked about how crazy expensive TiVo is. And yeah, so if they had something like that, it doesn't even have to be TiVo. It could be a really cool DVR, Microsoft type thing, newfangled thing that would be really cool. You know what would be cool? Like a Metro interface with the shows that you have like recorded. You know, like little pictures, little JPEGs or something of the shows that you actually have, and it'll find it and everything. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, Microsoft.
Seriously, Microsoft, just get with the program.
They really just have to blow us out of the water, because I don't think anyone was that impressed with the PS4. You know, there were a lot of cool things, like the sharing capabilities with the PS4 were cool, but they just have to do something crazy, like a DVR built in, and everyone's on board, like Comcast, Cablevision, everyone.
I just don't understand. It's like, they're not going to do all that. There's not going to be cable card and TiVo.
I know. I know. That would be awesome, though. Oh my god.
It would be cool.
But Xbox is always like, we want to be that one thing that you have in your living room, and you don't need anything else. Right. And they've always said that. So
well, they
why not do it?
That. Well, oh yeah. Well, when I have $1,100 to spare, maybe I'll do it.
Okay.
All right. So let's get into the rant du jour, which is SimCity. So if you guys haven't been following, which I can't imagine that you haven't been, SimCity, brand new release, really exciting. I was excited for it. You heard 2 episodes ago, and it's just like, hey, it's not coming out for Mac at the same time as PC, which really makes no sense these days. That doesn't really happen anymore. Oh, you need to be online to play SimCity. And It's like, well, what do you mean you got to be online? Like, well, I don't want to, multiplayer. Yeah, okay, there's multiplayer. No. You need to be online even if you're in single user mode.
Yep.
You got to be online. And if you're not online after a few minutes, well, first off, your game won't load if you're online. But let's say you go online and then you're like, I don't want to be online anymore, and you disconnect your internet connection. Or let's say, hey, you're on a train and you had internet at the train station and now you're on your train.
Exactly.
When the game detects that you're not online, it disconnects you. And the game closes and your city is gone. Yep. It's just absolutely absurd. And so, everybody's been just like, look, this is all digital rights management. It's DRM. Why are you doing this, EA? And they're like, no, it's not DRM. This isn't to fight piracy. This is all this blah, 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 blah. Well, look at this. Hackers have opened up offline play with modding tools for SimCity. And, EA and Maxis, who is the subsidiary of EA, which Maxis has made every sim game, they said it would take significant engineering work to make a workable offline version of SimCity. Well, that excuse took another hit because hackers have released modding tools that disable the game's periodic server checks without breaking the game. The tools also unlock other features that are not in the final game. So this was posted to Reddit initially, and Reddit is just abuzz with news and guides for installing the SimCity Pack, a downloadable package of files that lets players edit many elements of the user interface and underlying game logic. Now, the tools aren't incredibly user-friendly for the time being, but if you have any JavaScript experience and the patience to learn, you can do things like disable the online connectivity required to fix the quote-unquote fudged population display and even affect how basic simulation works. I don't really care about the mods, but it's like, wow, a pack that disables it from trying to, stop your piracy for a game that you maybe paid like, $60, $70, $80 for. It's just like, come on, just cut the crap, EA.
Yeah, I've heard so much crazy things. I've been listening. It's like it's the hot topic on every gaming podcast I've listened to in this past week, and people are just giving it, like the worst possible review score because
Polygon
it's broken.
Dropped the review drastically. Polygon, I think, reviewed it, giving it like an 8. And then it went down to I think they gave it a 9. Then they gave it a 7 or an 8. And then after everything, like all the crap hit the fan, I think they dropped it to a 4. Because they said okay, yeah, there's all these problems, but it stops the basic functionality of the game. You can't get on because there's so many people trying to play it.
It's just not even that it's broken. It's just it doesn't work. And it shouldn't be that way. And, you paid a lot of money for a game and it doesn't work. So, yeah, you're going to get a crappy score. So if that's how you set it up, that's how it's going to be. So
yeah, and that's the annoying part about the game, where it's just like, okay, so let's say you buy into this quote-unquote always-on functionality. If everybody is trying to play at the same time, you can't connect to the frickin' server. So how are you supposed to play the game that you bought?
Yeah, you can't.
It's just like, come on. And it's SimCity. Like, this is a game that is just classic. It is a game that has always been good. It's a game that has, won the hearts and minds of gamers and geeks and computer guys since the the early 90s.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember seeing SimCity on a 486 and just thinking, wow, that is a great game. And it was out for Super Nintendo.
Yep.
And I have SimCity 2000 for the PC, and it's
there was
just
Sim
so
Tower, and all those Sim games just spawned off of that. So
the Sims, Sims 2, which I played Sims. I played The Sims. I liked it. Sims 2 was
there were so
awesome.
many. I mean, they were on PC, they were on PlayStation 2, and a lot of people are just saying, you know what, go back and play SimCity 2000. Or I've actually heard, and I've seen this game on Xbox Live Arcade, Tropico, which is, I guess, similar to SimCity. I really don't know what much about it, but I've heard that's a great game, and it's definitely something that works and something you don't need to be online to play. You just download it and you have it. So I actually check that out because of all this SimCity hype. It's getting me thinking about like a strategy game. I'll have to check it out. Well, probably not because Gears of War and BioShock's coming out next week, so forget it.
There you go. Well, the other thing to round this out is that Ars Technica was able to download and install a package file enabling this offline mode in less than a minute. And there's even a YouTube video that shows you how to go through all of this. You know what? If you don't like it, vote with your dollars. That's the easiest way to get your point across. And I've done it before with companies and doings that I don't like what they're doing, and I will do it again. As much as I really, really want this game, I'm not going to buy it unless EA rolls out a service pack or rolls out an update of some sort that says, you know what? You don't need to be connected to the server to play. Now, I can understand if it's cloud saves and they go, look, you got to connect to the server to load your game. It's like, I don't know, but okay. But if they're like, no, you don't have to be online. You could save the game to your hard drive. You can play online if you want, but you don't have to be. Then, yeah, I'll buy the game. But until then, absolutely not. Not happening. $60 staying in my pocket. Just not worth it. That's really what it comes down to. It's a shame because SimCity is just so great. It's awesome stuff. But hey, EA, they want to play games. They want to play with how this all.
You want to play games? Okay.
they can do that all they want. I'm not gonna give them my money. Simple as that. They can keep SimCity. So one thing you may want to keep is iOS version 6.1.2 because the iOS 6.1.3 that rolled out earlier this week will stop your jailbreak. Yeah. Don't get it if you're jailbroken.
That's good. God, there's been so many iOS updates that are like, oh, maybe you shouldn't update it because there's this problem and that problem. So it's like, maybe I just shouldn't update it anymore.
Yeah, well, look, software updates are great just because it's like, look, Apple finds a problem, they patch it. Google finds a problem in Android, they roll out an update, they patch it. It's just the software life cycle. But, of course, it's the cat and mouse game between Apple and the jailbreak, the dev team, and all of them. And they have gone ahead and contained the evasion jailbreak, which we talked about on a previous episode. It was released a couple days ago, and it fixes a security bug that allowed someone to sneak past the lock screen and make calls, listen to voicemail, and view contacts. But, of course, it also patches the holes that the evasion exploit used to perform an untethered jailbreak on all iOS devices. And, yeah, if you upgrade to 6.1.3, you will not be able to use evasion to jailbreak your device. And, of course, just like every other iOS update, once you update, you cannot downgrade. Downgrading is not possible. So, yeah. The good thing, though, is that you have older Apple devices that are on the A4 processor or earlier. They still can be hacked using the latest version of Red Snow, and those are products like the iPhone 4, the 3GS, and the 4th generation iPod Touch. In the release notes, now here's the crazy part. In the release notes, Apple actually credited the evasion team for uncovering the security holes that were patched. I mean, that's just really, really crazy. So, yeah, if you want to, keep your jailbreak...
Hey, I'm back.
If you want to keep your jailbreak, just stay on 6.1.2. Don't go to 6.1.3. I'm sure they're going to, come out with an update that lets you jailbreak that. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just funny how Apple's like, oh, thanks, evasion team. We're, we saw these security holes. Well, you found these security holes, and we patched them. Thanks to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's like jailbreaking for me. It's just like, why? I don't know. Everything I wanted to do with jailbreaking, just you can do without jailbreaking these days. But people will spend $400 on an iPhone, but won't spend 99 cents on an app.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
The
only reason I would think to jailbreak my iPhone is to remember we talked about that in-dash iPhone mirroring screen for your car.
Yeah, things like that would be cool. I mean,
that's like the only reason.
I know jailbreaking isn't really all about pirating apps. You can do all these cool hacks and UI changes and get all these other apps, but I don't know. For me, it's just like, okay, why do you need to tunnel with an SSH? Sorry, do an SSH tunnel into your iPhone. Like, why are you going to terminal into it? Like, there's no reason for it. Or, oh, you can make the screen do all this crazy stuff. It's like, okay, well, what are you going to do with it?
It's like, I just want my phone to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Just have it work. I don't want to mess around with it.
Yeah, and it's a big pain in the butt, too, the whole cat and mouse game. It's like, oh, I jailbroke. Oh, no, now it's gone. It's like, whatever. Yeah. So, anyhow, let's keep the show rolling here into Geek This Week. And 2 video games and a movie? Is that like 2 turntables and a microphone?
Yeah, basically. So I finally finished Devil May Cry. I knew I had to finish it this past weekend because Gears of War Judgment was coming out yesterday. And so I finished it, and it's so far probably my favorite game of the year. Granted, it's only March, so I think BioShock next week might blow that out of the water. But I really enjoyed it, and I said last week that it's really the successor to the first Devil May Cry, which was amazing on the PS2, and then 2, 3, and 4 just, I don't know, just did not work. I beat the second one, and then I think I beat the third one, and then the fourth one I just didn't like. And this was just amazing. I mean, every environment you go into, and I actually watched the cutscenes, which is weird because I usually skip through cutscenes. I watch cutscenes in Gears of War, all those games, but every other game I just skip them because it's like they're either way too long or I just don't care. But this I actually cared. It's just the story was very cool. It was very like goth and almost. It's really like an action Xbox game meets Twilight. If I just turned a lot of people off, that kind of. I only say that because Dante is very young in this, and there's this other girl who's human that kind of, I don't know, they're kind of emo, they're kind of goth, and they're kind of like they like each other, but it's it's all this action and everything at the same time, and I don't know, that just kind of what it reminded me of, like just a young version of this Devil May Cry. But I highly recommend it. I used GameFly to play it. And I beat it in a couple weeks, and the levels are not that long, and the boss battles are just amazing, and it's just so creative. And every level, I was just like, wow, this is just awesome. I'm having like a great time with this. Gave up on Tomb Raider. A lot of people are loving Tomb Raider. It's the beginning of it I liked because it was like Lost. You're trying to survive. And then it just quickly turned into like an Uncharted clone or just a mass murder simulator. And I'm taking that from a lot of other people. They're calling it that, which I'm starting to get into that idea that, these characters, Nathan Drake from Uncharted and Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, they wouldn't kill 1,000 people with guns. You just wouldn't. It doesn't make sense. Indiana Jones killed people, but most of the time he just like knocked them out or something, So once it turned into that Uncharted clone or just that action game, I really just got disinterested in it. And I would have been very happy with like a Lost game. I know there's a Lost game for Xbox 360. I'm sure it's terrible, but I would have liked just trying to survive and just raiding tombs and avoiding traps, and that's really kind of what the first one felt for me when I played it back on Sega Saturn. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to skip this because Gears is coming out in BioShock, and that's going to take up a lot of my time. And all you other games, you're just going to have to wait. So watch the movie, Life of Pi, won Best Director, which, I was very interested in seeing it. It got, really good reviews, and everyone really liked it. And I liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but it's basically Castaway with animals, or a guy and a tiger instead of a guy in a volleyball.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, most of the movie is on a boat with a tiger, which because that's, on the poster and everything. But it's good. I did definitely enjoy it. It is beautifully shot. Ang Lee definitely deserved Best Director Oscar for that. And it's just gorgeous to look at, and I wish I had the home theater set up to watch this, but I didn't. We just watched it on our small 47-inch TV. Wah, wah. But the sound I'm sure would have been amazing because the beginning is on a ship and then it crashes, and then it's just him and the tiger. Yeah, so I definitely recommend Life of Pi, and I'm very excited to watch Zero Dark 30, which I've also heard is a really, really good movie that just came
Yeah,
out.
I've heard good things about that also.
Yeah, that just came out on Vudu and iTunes and Amazon, probably everywhere on Tuesday. So yeah, definitely interested in checking that out this weekend. So
Very cool, very cool, excellent. All right, so for my geek this week, I picked up a vacuum on Woot, and of course, it's just not any vacuum. It is the Neato XV12 vacuuming robot.
so
And,
wait a minute. What happened to your Roomba?
Yeah, so years ago, I had a Roomba, and
Yeah.
it was, the Roomba scheduler, so it was, I could schedule it and it would clean whenever I wanted it to, and the battery died. And I was like, okay, I'll get a new battery. And the batteries for a Roomba are expensive. I paid
Really?
$80 for a battery.
And how much is a Roomba?
Roomba's like $200, $300.
Wow.
So the battery was like $80, and that was like buying it off of Amazon, not even from Roomba. I think the battery from Roomba was like 100 and change.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, I'll buy a battery. So I buy the battery, and the battery lasted literally like 3 weeks.
Oof.
It's just like, what? Really? Oh my God. So eventually my wife and I were like, all right, the Roomba's gotta go. And we ditched the Roomba. It just like wasn't working anymore. So, we've been using a regular vacuum. And then on Woot last week, they have different Woots now. They have Tech Woot, regular Woot, and they have Home.Woot. And on Home.Woot, they had the Neato XV12. And I was like, that's not expensive. I want to say it was like $200 and like $20, $225 maybe, brand new, not refurbished. And so I was like, I don't know, this could be interesting. So I started looking it up. I was reading the message boards on Woot. I started reading the Amazon reviews. And the cool thing about this is that it's a lot more intuitive and a lot smarter than the Roomba.
Well, I would hope so. It's newer, right?
Well, no, the implementation, the technology is different.
Okay.
With the Roomba, what happens is that it has like a little bumper on like the front half, and it bumps into things. So when you first start it going, it'll come off its charger, and it'll go around, and it bumps into things, and it will clean in kind of like this weird random pattern. It gets pretty much everywhere.
It'll eventually get everything.
Yeah, it gets
Because it's
everywhere
bumping
at least
into
once. But some areas it gets a little more, some a little less, and it goes in this completely random pattern, and it goes back to its charger, if it can find it. The Neato vacuum, what this has is a little bump on the top of it that is open, and it has a 360-degree infrared sensor. So what it does is it comes off of its charger or wherever, if you start it vacuuming not on its charger, it'll move a few inches, and then it spins around and maps the room. And then it'll do a little bit of vacuuming, and so it detects when it's further in the room, and it will stop and spin and map the room a little more. And it maps the room so it knows where everything is instead of bumping into things.
And it'll know the mapping of the room for next time? It cleans?
No, it does a new map every time, which
It
is
just
good.
does it every
What
time,
if you
okay.
move your furniture? What if you have
Yeah,
toys
that's true.
or it's like getting under my kitchen table. Maybe I want to move the chairs out.
Yep.
Things like that. So it does a new map every time, which I actually like that it works that way. But the cool thing about it is because it has a map of the room, it knows exactly where it's going, and it goes in straight lines, just like a regular vacuum, not like the Roomba in this crazy random pattern. And it detects when it's in another room, which is very cool. I don't know how it does it. I don't know if it can figure out like doorways or like changes in elevation, like certain rooms you have a slight step, like a little sill that it goes over, things like that. But it does detect when it's in another room. It's really crazy. The cool thing about it is that it knows, because it maps, where it's cleaned and where it hasn't. So I wanted to do the whole downstairs of my house. When it's running low on battery, it turns the vacuum off and just uses its remaining power to power the wheels. And it will, because it's mapped, it retraces its steps back to the charger. And once it charges, it automatically comes off the charger and resumes vacuuming where it left off. It doesn't do the same parts over again. It just wheels back to where it was and keeps going.
That's
unlike
pretty
the
good
Roomba,
tech.
unlike the Roomba, where you can do one, maybe two rooms and hope that it finds its charger.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't know where it came from, which I always thought was kind of weird. It can at least keep, even if it doesn't have a map, it can always just keep track of the path it took to get, to get to where it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the Roomba, I think, could do 1 to 2 rooms. The Nito can do unlimited rooms because it'll just go back to its charger, charge up, and then an hour or two later, it comes off the charger and keeps going. And once it's fully done with everything, it'll go back to its charger, and if it needs more, it'll go back out. If it's done, then it's done, and it charges back up again. Because it has the infrared technology, it also has the bumper on the front like a Roomba, but it's just not as prominent, and it doesn't use it as much. It'll still detect if it has to bump into things. It corners very well because, again, it can see the corners, and it gets everywhere. It still works in a weird pattern, like it might divide a room into like 2 or 3 sections that it'll do. So you think, oh, it only did half that room, but it goes back and gets it. But it's nice. It really works well, and the suction is a lot better than the Roomba. It really sucks.
Nah, it's gone from suck to blow.
Yeah, but it definitely is more powerful than the Roomba, and they do that because, one, it uses more power and more battery to have the vacuum suck harder to have more suction, but they can afford to do that because it can resume cleaning where it left off.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the Roomba, where it's like, well, once it has to charge, that's it. It's done. Mm-hmm. So they can afford to have a shorter cleaning cycle, but go back and forth more times. So it is a little more time consuming, but you run it when you're not home. You run it overnight. It's pretty cool. The cool thing about this vacuum is that it came with an extra pack of filters, and like it has little squeegees on the bottom for like hardwood floors. Mm-hmm. It came with like 4 extra filters, an extra squeegee, an extra beater bar, and then it also came with the pet and allergy kit, which is like a heavy-duty filter and a heavy-duty brush. Plus, if you register it online, they send you another filter free from if you register it with Nito, and you want to register it because there are software updates for the Nito that they roll out every once in a while. So, and you just hook it up to your computer with a USB cord and you update your vacuum.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. You know what? It's like, obviously it's not going to be as fast as using a regular vacuum, and it may not get every single nook and cranny of your house, but you run this thing like every other day, and it's really going to keep things up, pretty clean instead of vacuuming like every Saturday, or twice a week or something like that. The upkeep is a lot easier, especially like, you have the high traffic areas of your house, like, just in the front door, the kitchen. It's like you can just say, the
thing with the pet filters, we have 2 cats, and they get not like a ton of litter throughout the house, but in that traffic area where they go to the litter box, there's a litter. That's just what's going to happen. And also, as you know too, you have little kids. Cheerios, Kicks are just everywhere on the floor all the time.
Exactly.
And everywhere you step, crunch.
Yeah, exactly. And this thing will pick all of that stuff
it'll
up.
Pick that up.
And of course, there's always hair and dirt, and you track in stuff from outside, and it's really good. I like it. It's programmable. You can schedule it, which is very good. It does spot clean also, so if you just wanted to do a little area. And they call it, I think, a room barrier. It comes with a roll of like a magnetic bar. It looks like tape, but it's not sticky. And it's in a roll, and you can cut it up and put it in your doorways where you don't want the vacuum to go. So it'll detect this magnetic bar and turn around. But it's not sticky, so you just need to put it on the floor when it's running. So it's like, it runs overnight. You take them out of the drawer, you lay them out in front of your doorway, and it'll contain it. It's very cool. I like it so far. I like it better than the Roomba, again, because it's intuitive. It's smart. It seems to clean better also. So, I've only had it for a week, but I definitely think it's pretty cool so far.
Yeah.
So, we'll check it in a couple of months. But hey, robotic vacuum, subservient tech.
Cool.
I like that.
I don't think it would work well in my house because I'm in a split level. So I'd have to get like 3. Yeah, I'd have to get like 3 or maybe just 2.
You need like 9 of them.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, but it's pretty cool. All right. let's keep going here into the featured segment, and this is Gears of War Judgment. And all I could think of is, wow, I didn't even finish Gears of War 3.
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking about this. I played the crap out of Gears of War 1 when it came out because there was just nothing like it before. The only thing that was close to it was on the PS2, a game called Kill Switch, which did the cover-based shooting, did the blind firing and everything, but just wasn't as good of a game. But when this came out on the 360, I was like, damn, this is next gen. Like that was really the first game. Maybe Prey did that a little bit, but Gears of War came out in 2006, November 2006, and I just remember getting it and popping it in and be like, oh my god. And I had the home theater up at that point, so it just looked amazing. Then Gears 2 came out and introduced Horde mode, which was amazing, and then it was one of the first games you got for Xbox because you were like, hey, I want to play with you guys. Because I was just like, yeah, everyone's playing. Even Star Wars Dan is playing, and he never plays games. So we played a lot of Horde mode for that, and we had a lot of fun with that. And Gears 3 just basically, upped everything. I really like Gears 3's campaign. Horde 2.0 really tried to implement the traps and all kinds of stuff like that, and just setting everything up. And it really wasn't what I thought it would be. I would have almost gone back to Gears 2 just to play Horde mode.
Right.
So Gears of War Judgment, it's a prequel, and it's 15 years before the first Gears of War, and Marcus is not in it, Dom is not in it. It's Baird, the blonde guy, the engineer, the tech guy, and oh god, Cole is in it. I almost forgot his name. And the game starts off as you see on the cover of the game, where Baird is handcuffed for war crimes that you're really not sure, what exactly happened. So he comes off this helicopter, and he kind of looks back at, in back of him at these explosions, and he's like, can I just check if that bastard is dead? And then it's like, okay, what's he talking about? And then this colonel, I forgot his name. I've only played the game for about 2 or 3 hours, so I'm just kind of going by what I've heard and, anything that I've played. And he kind of points a gun at Baird's head and tells him to, keep walking because he has to stand trial for his crimes. Okay. And his whole Kilo squad, which includes Cole and 2 other guys that I can't remember, some Russian dude and some girl, and they're all like under arrest and everything. So basically the game is like a flashback. So it's pretty cool. It's very different than any other campaign I've played, where as you're playing the campaign, Baird is talking to the colonel that has him, standing trial. So it's very different. Every other game is just, okay, just run and gun, or actually the stop and pop is really what it is. So it's very, very different. There are 2 campaigns, actually. There's Judgment, which is the main campaign, and then there's Aftermath, which takes place after Gears of War 3, which is I've heard, a much shorter campaign. I'm not even going to worry about that until I finish Judgment. I'm a couple chapters in, if they even call them chapters. They're very short. Like, if they are chapters, they're very, very short. They're probably 10 to 15 minutes per chapter, which I think is nice because, time being an issue now, it's like, all right, let me just play a chapter. Okay, fine. I beat 1 chapter, I'm satisfied. Okay. The cool thing is to change up your gameplay and to make you go back and replay certain chapters or the entire campaign if you want to, is they have these declassify missions where it's this big cog sign, and it usually happens right in the beginning of each chapter, where you can choose to make the chapter harder, be it one of the first ones was, okay, there are lambent here that are going to attack you, but if you choose this declassify mission, you make it harder. And it's like, okay, they're not lambent. What did I say? What were those little things that jump up and down?
Oh man,
oh god,
I can't remember.
Oh, I forgot.
I'm sorry.
But whatever those creatures are called, you can make them lambent, which means they'll explode on you if they come close to you. So, but if you choose the harder way to go, you will get more stars. Now, if you earn more stars as you're playing the campaign, you can unlock character skins, I think weapon skins too. You can unlock other play modes. So you want to get 3 stars per chapter. That's kind of what your goal is.
Okay.
You'll get more stars if you execute people more, if you get up close and personal more. If you get downed a lot, it's going to actually lower your star count, or lower the there's a bar that goes up to 3 stars. It'll lower it and actually prevent you from getting 3 stars. So it's like the campaign is like, wow, this is like really different. All the other campaigns in Gears, it's like, okay, it's Gears, it's great, it's fun. But this is actually very, very different than any other Gears game. There's no horde mode. The closest thing to horde mode is survival mode, which is a mix of horde and kind of like defend the base type game, where you have to defend this e-hole from exploding and more locusts coming up. The locusts are going to attack this cover you have on it, kind of like a huge manhole cover. So it's kind of like that, but it is waves of enemies, but you are defending it at the same time. And you're playing as the different class systems during this. So it's actually a lot going on, and it kind of made me miss horde mode, where it's like, okay, boom, here you go. Here's a bunch of enemies, kill them. That's it. It's definitely not like that this time around, which I'm kind of disappointed in, but I'm gonna, keep giving it a shot. They have to release a horde mode for this. I mean, come on.
It's going to be DLC that you have to pay for.
Probably. It'll probably be like $20 or something. But I'll pay for it because I'm stupid. The Versus mode, the new mode in Versus mode is Overrun, which is really heavy on the class system and heavy on defending the e-holes, like I talked about in survival mode. And the class systems is pretty cool. You can be an engineer, and what do they do? Oh, they have a Gnasher and a Blowtorch, and the Blowtorches can repair fortifications, and you can also throw out a sentry turret, which is pretty cool. There is a soldier class, which you have a Lancer and a Bushka, which is kind of like a boom shot, but not as good. It shoots out these kind of canisters of explosives, and they kind of bounce a little bit. They're effective, but I found pretty easy to avoid. And you can also deploy ammo crates, which can help your team. So that's pretty cool. There's a medic class, which you have a Lancer and a sawed-off shotgun, and you have a stim gas grenade, which is a grenade that you can throw at someone if they're downed or hurt to revive them. So you don't have to go up and pick them up anymore. I mean, you still can do that, but just to throw a stim gas grenade is pretty cool. And then there's the Scout, which is basically the sniper class, which comes equipped with a Markza, which is, I like to say, a medium long shot. Remember the sniper rifle in the game?
Yeah.
But it's like a medium level.
Called a sniper rifle. I mean,
well, it's I don't know. Whatever. I think it's a weapon from the Pendulum Wars, which is even pre Gears of War lore. But the cool thing is, and you get a snub pistol too, which I don't think anyone uses. You can throw a beacon grenade, which will identify the enemies around you, and this class can actually climb up to like sniper spots, which the other classes can't. So you actually have an advantage there. So that's pretty cool. And I found that medium range sniper rifle pretty cool, pretty effective, but I still like the long shot. And just recently playing the Versus mode, you are much more mobile than any other Gear games before. You can actually jump off like a high ledge, like 10, 15 feet, and just drop. When before Gears games wouldn't let you do that. You had
you couldn't do anything like that.
Exactly. You just had to like run around. So that's pretty cool, and that really changes up the gameplay a lot. So between the campaign, the survival, and the Versus, it feels like a really different game. I mean, the basic gameplay's there, the roadie run is still there, and the shooting is still there. But it feels like different. It's like, okay, yeah, this one is different. There are a ton of weapon skins, character skins, and different characters. You can earn prize boxes just by killing enough enemies, which open different characters and whatnot. And it's, I would say, for the hardcore Gears fans, it's a must-buy, obviously. Right. But for people like you, because I remember when Gears 3 came out, you were just like, should I get it? And I'm like, yeah, get it, because Horde mode is going to be awesome. And we played a little bit of Horde mode, but I think Gears 2 we played a lot more Horde mode.
Yeah, we played a ton of Horde mode, because that was the really fun part. Like, I'm not just in games in general. I'm just not into the campaign.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, you know what? Let's just jump in and play and kill lots of things and have that stress of getting up to or trying to get up to level 50, which was just so much fun. And we had a couple nights where we stayed up to like 3 a.m. just playing and playing, and that's like the best, especially you playing with your friends, and that's really the best. So survival offers that. You can play 5 players total co-op, but it's just it's not horde. It's different. It's I think too much almost. So I've only played a couple chapters of the campaign. I'm enjoying it. It's very different. But I think I would say I was more impressed with Gears 3 so far. But obviously I'm going to keep playing it. I bought it. It's probably going to be one of my favorite games of the year. So again, you're a Gears fan, it's a must buy. Everyone else, see what happens. If they release Horde mode, then yeah, I would say buy it.
Oh, please. They're going to do it as DLC.
I know. They will. They're going to really... I already bought the VIP pass, so I'm going to get all the DLC already. I'm stupid. Dude, I saw the weapon skins pack. You can get every weapon skin for $50.
It's virtual stuff.
I know. I actually considered it, and then I was like,
okay,
what is wrong with me? No, I didn't. I bought one weapon skin. Yeah. God.
Nice.
So tempted, because I just wanted the entire Gears experience, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to do that to get the whole Gears experience. Hold on, snap out of it, come on.
There you go.
So yeah,
very cool. Very cool. All right.
Oh my God, so many games. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, tons and tons of games.
And games that don't work.
Exactly. Yeah, which I won't pay for. Yeah, and when I say that, I don't mean I'm going to pirate it. I mean I'm not buying it and I'm not playing it.
Yep.
Okay, so rounding out the show with feedback and items to note, we actually have 2 emails to us today, and the first one, I'll take it here. You can take the next one, Gozer.
Okay.
The first one says, "Hey guys, just listened to episode 342." Oh, this is from Dawson. So he says, "Hey guys, just listened to episode 342, and I will have to admit that 10 minutes after sending the email to you guys, I was able to figure out how to use the Bluetooth keyboard as a keyboard. Just thinking it would be cool if you can use an iPad as a Bluetooth keyboard / trackpad for the Mac. Just a thought. Love the show. Dawson."
I don't think the iPad screen would work that well as a trackpad.
Yeah, you know what? There is a I've talked about this on the show before. There is an app that I use for my Magic Trackpad and my Magic Mouse called Better Touch Tool. And there is a add-on or a separate app that the developer created called BTT Remote. And I think that's what it does. Or it's maybe a different app that he's developed. But Dawson, if you go and look at Better Touch Tool and you look up the website and the developer information, you should be able to see the other app that's available. I think it's like $2 or $3 in the Mac App Store. And I think it allows you to use your iPad as a trackpad. You could check also in Better Touch Tool with this remote feature. That might be it. I've never looked into it because I don't have a need for it, but that might be it for you. So check it out and report back. I'd like to know how that works out for you.
Yeah, let us know, Dawson.
I'm going to ban that from the show.
How can you? I'm not even doing it like in a proper way. I'm just holding my speaker up to the microphone.
Oh God! All right, take the next email, please.
Okay, the next email is from Diana. "Hi guys, thanks for the recommendation and help with XCOM. My husband really liked it and finished it in about 3 weeks. That was probably about the same time with me too. But the thing with XCOM is okay, if you lose a character you've been building for a long time, you're gonna go back and kind of reload an earlier game. So it might actually take you longer than it should." So she says, "Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Anyways, if you have any recommendations for games around Christmas, that would be much appreciated." Well, this holiday season is going to be a crazy one. It's going to be insane with the new consoles and new games and everything. So, yeah, and then she follows that up with, "or just along the way so I can squirrel them away." Yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend Devil May Cry that I just talked about earlier in the show. If people are liking Tomb Raider, I really didn't get into it that much. Uh, Metal Gear is pretty cool. I would say Devil May Cry is a good buy, but the other games
Mhm.
now, get Gears. BioShock's going to be friggin' amazing. Everyone's going to be playing BioShock. Yeah, so that's about it. And then there's got to be like a lull after this, I would think. Maybe until the summer at least.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is it really matters when with the next gen consoles. Are they going to come out this year? Are they not?
I think they are. It's going to be
Obviously, there's the
holiday.
Wii U, but
Yeah. I want a Wii U. I just want to play Super Mario Brothers.
come on,
That's why.
no,
Can I
but it's
do
not
like
worth it.
Best Buy has a 30-day return policy, right? I could just play it for like 2 weeks and then return everything.
I guess.
Dude, I just love playing that and HD. Oh man, where's Blockbuster? Come on, rent me a Wii U and put it in a big case like you used to do.
Yeah,
Come on.
I did that for the Nintendo 64, and it came with
I
a
did
big,
that for the
like,
64. I did that for the
briefcase.
PlayStation 1. I did that for the PS2. I did that for. I think that was about it. Super Nintendo, I did a lot for. But yeah, that's just not going to happen. You can't rent consoles. It's too
Yeah,
much.
no,
I'll put my $100 deposit on it.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
So Diana continues in saying, anyway, so I use iGoogle to keep up with the blogs I read in a painless way, but it is going away in November. Google Reader, which I had planned to use instead, is going away in June. Do you have any suggestions on what I can use to replace it? You better take this one because I'm.
Yeah, so Google Reader is going away, which really stinks. A lot of people use it. I actually used Google Reader a lot back in the day. I don't know if you've used it at all, Gozer, but
No.
it's just an RSS aggregator
Mhm.
to read websites, nice and easy. Interestingly enough, and I left this out of the show because I didn't think it was going to fit, but I'm going to let you know. They have a great news article on The Verge called "RSS Isn't Dead: The Best Google Reader Alternatives," and this was actually just published yesterday. When you're hearing this, that will mean Tuesday.
Mhm.
So yeah, a couple of options are Feedly, NewsBlur, Net. Newswire, and of course, there's going to be a ton of others. The website dig.com, the developers of who have taken over Dig have actually come out with a blog post stating that they are going to be coming out with an RSS reader as well, and they're hoping to have that out pretty soon. Again, if you go to the Dig blog, you can read about that. The article on The Verge is just at theverge.com, and just you can just do a search for RSS Isn't Dead, the best Google Reader alternatives, and you'll come up with a full review and download links and screenshots of all these services.
Yep.
I will say, I had used NetNewsWire for a while. I thought it was okay, but I liked Google Reader because it was, synchronized everywhere I went. I didn't need to install a separate app or, anything like that. It stinks. It really does. It's so interesting that like RSS, they took it out of Safari. Like I was actually looking for an RSS link a couple weeks ago, and the newest version of Safari doesn't have it. And I was like, wait a minute, like where's my little RSS icon? Like I'm used to it over on the right hand side, like my little orange icon.
Why don't we just ask what Dawson thinks about this?
Exactly. Dawson is instant for this song. If you guys have any input, you can absolutely let us know. But yeah, those are a few different RSS apps you can check out, and whatever you decide on, let us know because it would be good advice for everybody else. So yeah, pretty cool, and thanks for emailing us, Diana. We definitely appreciate it, and we're glad the recommendations for XCOM helped your husband out. I'm sure it was a happy household.
Great
game.
game.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you guys know, Diana actually was able to reach us through Facebook, which is at facebook.com/thegeekcast. That's one of the many ways you can reach us. Just want to let you know, once again, we are live streaming our show on Google Plus Hangout on Air. You can be a part of the show. You can watch us recording, and you can also comment on the YouTube page or in the event itself. It's very easy to do. If you just search for The Geekcast on Google Plus, you'll see our album art. That's our account. And we are broadcasting on Google Hangout on Air on Tuesday nights, usually Tuesday nights. We're doing it Wednesday due to scheduling, but usually Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And we'd love to have you guys watch and participate in the show. And we're hoping to get comments as the show goes on, and we can respond to you guys, which is a lot of fun. Plus, you can watch the show before it's even out in the feed because the show goes up on YouTube almost instantly, which is awesome stuff.
Wow.
So if you want to find us on Twitter, I am Aaron Crocco, and also the Geekcast.
Gozer 360.
Of course, the website with all of the information, links to us on Twitter, our Google Plus feed, our Google Plus account, rather, our Facebook account, email, all of that good stuff is available at www.geekcastonline.com. 206-350-5000 is the voicemail line, and geekcast@gmail.com is our email address. And you can email us just like Diana and Dawson. I guess your name has to begin with a D to email us at this point.
No.
All right, guys, I'm out. I can't deal with this stupid song anymore. I can't deal with the song anymore. We'll see you guys next week for episode 345. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, I got the recording stopped. We're still broadcasting.
Yep.
Jeez. Enough with the damn song.
Gotta keep playing it.
No.
He's gonna keep fucking emailing us.
No.
Gotta play it.
I kill you.
You gotta figure out how to play sound effects during the show. You think I can just get a mixing board?
You know what? The Hangout Toolbox has like sound effects, but they won't come up in the podcast.
Yeah, because it's not recorded in Wiretap.
Yeah, well, it is on my side, but the thing is that I use your audio.
Yeah, so I won't hear
so it doesn't really it don't work that way.
What is today's date? 20th?
Yeah. Enough with the Dawson's Creek song.
Nah.
It's awful. This is quiet. Quiet.
Yeah, so congrats on the job.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You must have fucking jizzed all over the place.
Yeah. All right.
Right or eye.
Exactly. So let me stop the broadcast for everybody watching. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. And should be Tuesday, 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, we're going to talk about personal stuff, so shut up.
See you guys later. Take it easy.